episode 411 from Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering or in any way, shape, or form enjoy Magic the Gathering.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria, aka Disco Charles, for the second week.
You're still Disco Charles.
Yeah, I'm still feeling Disco Charles.
Fair enough. And I am another one of your hosts. I forgot my real name for a second. It's like, I'm another one of your hosts. Meghan.
Well, take this chance. Name yourself whatever you want,
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Do you know what? Pony McGee.
McGee.
I already regret it. Just said the first thing that came to my mind, but here we are.
Disco Charles and Pony McGee here to talk to you about the wonderful game of Magic the Gathering. On today's episode, we're going to talk about standard and historic because those are the formats that were just played in the Zendikar Rising Championship this past weekend.
That's right. And they are both in a super exciting place right now. They've honestly been a lot of fun to play thanks to some much needed bannings.
Oh yeah,
and,
big time.
Now things are really rocking and rolling over there.
I'm pretty happy with them. I've been having just a blast playing some historic recently. So we're going to go through the top decks and give you our thoughts about if you're interested in playing one, if you're trying to find one for the historic open this weekend.
Ooh, yeah.
What you should play if you want to win $2,000 cold hard cash.
That's right. If you are on the fence about playing the open, you should absolutely do it because it's such a good time.
I love doing it.
What a cool event. What a great addition to the Magic repertoire of events that you can play.
If you're jamming standard, we've got standard decks as well. So there you go.
Oh, that's right. I've been starting to try out some spicy standard brews just because I was the other day. Okay, I'll talk to this. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about this when we get to it.
Okay, stick a pin in it. We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it. Because first, we have to thank all of the wonderful people who are patrons.
It's so
Thank
true.
you so much. Thank you especially to Evelyn, who became a patron Monday morning.
That's right. I was sitting here. We were recording the upkeep, and I'm recording my video in OBS, which has my settings for doing the stream. And I heard the sound of a Patreon subscription go off on my ears while we were recording, and I was like, "What's going on?" And it was Evelyn.
So thank you so much, Evelyn. So if you would like a shout out like this one, subscribe first thing Monday morning. Wake up and think to yourself, do you know what I should do today? I should become a patron of Good Luck High Five. If you're over in the patron Discord, say hi to our new patron.
Yeah.
Give them a shout out. Evelyn, make sure you get on over there and say hi to everybody.
So if you want to become one, super easy, patreon.com/GLHF Magic. We're also going to give you a little December incentive to become a patron this month because we've created some new Good Luck High Five merch and we're going to give our patrons 10% off.
Ooh, that's right. So over on Teespring, we have a new shirt up, which is Good Luck High Five, and then a speaker broadcasting from a cat's mouth.
It's so good, everybody.
It's so good. It is. It's so cute. It's so cool. So head on over there, take a look at it, because as soon as you take a look at it, you're going to be like, this shirt is great.
Yeah, this was inspired by a listener who asked if we were going to have holiday merch available to purchase. So if you're looking for a gift for another Good Luck High Five listener, consider one of these cool things. Honestly, even if somebody doesn't even know what the show is, I think they would like this design because it's really cool.
Yeah, it does just say Good Luck High Five and have a speaker broadcasting out of a cat's mouth, which I think both of those are really kind of universal.
It's a universal message. And
it really is.
We've got it on so many different things. We've got t-shirts, we've got hoodies, we've got long sleeves, we've got tote bags, we've got fanny packs, we've got posters, we've got tank tops. Anyway, it's all over there in the show notes or under the YouTube video. You can see this link and check it out because I am just enamored with this design. It's so cool.
It is. It's really great. Thank you as well to our sponsor, Card Kingdom, cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Another great place to do your holiday shopping for another Magic aficionado.
Yes, absolutely. So one of our favorite things about Card Kingdom is their battle decks because they're really awesome gifts to give. They're only $10 and they can help your friends get into playing Magic because let's be real, what Magic player isn't constantly trying to get the rest of their friends to play Magic? I don't know one.
Yep. It's your one goal in life if you're a Magic player who knows non-Magic players.
So the new decks they've got Land Masses, which is a cool land-based battle deck. Party Time, which I think you can know that's the party mechanic from Zendikar. Rogue Nation with rogues and Drop Kick, which I just really like that one. So check those out over at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Ask for a sticker in your order. They will give you one because they're great people and they've got super fast shipping, so it'll get there before the holidays.
Maria, are we going to kick it off with standard or historic?
Which one do you want to do? I can't decide.
Ooh. Let's start with historic.
All right, historic. Yeah, this was the final format that we saw in the Zendikar Rising Championships. So it's kind of
final format.
It's kind of top of brain for us right now. The top 8 was historic double elimination. The winner, in case you didn't catch it, was Brad Barkley from Scotland. He played Azorius Control.
And if you're in the country of Scotland, there's no way you could have missed it.
Yep.
Because as far as I can tell, everyone in Scotland who plays Magic was yelling as loud as they could about it.
Accurate. The entire Magic part of the country was just on fire,
wildly enthusiastic about Brad Barkley's, his run into the top 8 and through the top 8 because did not lose a match in historic.
No, he was so good with his deck all weekend. There are a few other people playing it, 9 people total. He was the only person who could win.
And they were not good.
Nobody else did good with it. Only Brad. He's got the
Everyone
magic touch.
else on the deck he single-handedly raised the win percentage of that deck.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
probably 10 points by himself.
And the funniest thing is we were talking about this deck. We always get around before the tournament, have a chat, talk to our experts, and they're like, yeah, this deck is bad.
They're like, no.
And they still think it's bad, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Here's my question. Isn't it?
Yes, right. They think, yes, it is a bad deck, but how did he win? I don't know.
Start packing those. If you're in mid-range, start packing those mystical disputes, man.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's just an easy solution to get rid of it potentially.
Yeah. But congratulations to him. And I am always happy to see a control deck up there.
I knew you would be.
I am a little sad that it doesn't have my favorite friend of all time, Torrential Gearhulk.
Yeah.
Or Sphinx's Rev, both of which are available. I think what a testament to how powerful the format has become.
Yeah.
In recent years, that some of the top cards from even a couple of years ago are no longer making the cut.
It's kind of unbelievable.
Because everything in that historic deck, not everything, but so much in that historic deck is just from, you have Cast Out, which I guess is from Amonkhet Remastered.
Yeah.
You have Baffling End, which is from Ixalan, but so much of it, right, is just those cards, Sphinx's Revelation isn't powerful enough.
Bizarre. Just bizarre. If you want to play Torrential Gearhulk in historic, don't worry. There is a deck for you. Huey Jensen piloted to Mirror Control, which was running the Gearhulk, and said, when asked why, and if he's like, the other teammates are like, should we be playing this? And he was like, no, God, no, this deck is bad. I just want to play Torrential Gearhulk.
Look, I'm right there with you, Huey. All I want to do is play Torrential Gearhulk.
If you want to flash back those spells for free, hey, Gearhulk is your guy.
Gearhulk it up. Oh, yeah. But for those of you who are not of the control persuasion, I guess you can exist.
Thank you. I would like to exist. Great.
Yeah. I think one of the cooler decks that we saw out there, Kenji Igashira piloted this.
Oh, yeah.
Simon Gertzen slightly more successfully piloted this. Colorless Ramp.
Yeah, this deck is really wild. It's basically making use of all the tiny little colorless acceleration spells that exist in Historic, and then playing Forsaken Monument, which gives all of your colorless doodads. Colorless doodads.
Doodads.
Colorless creatures +2/+2 if you had any creatures. And also gains you life.
Most importantly, I was going to say it gains you life.
Yeah, the life gain is really probably why you're playing this, because every time you cast a color spell, you gain 2 life, which gets you out of a lot of tricky situations. And you've ramped up. You're probably splashing black for some removal like Languish. So you've dealt with all the little creatures, and then you cast Eugene the Spirit Dragon and you win.
That's right. There's Eugene. There's also Ulamog. It has Karn the Great Creator in the main, so that you can tutor up some of the cards that are just really good against specific archetypes. Like, right, you can tutor up a Grafdigger's Cage if they're on goblins. You can tutor up a Tormod's Crypt if they're doing something with their graveyard.
It's like what we call a wish sideboard, meaning whatever you need, you got it.
You just go and you pluck it out of there with Karn the Great Creator.
Another deck that was kind of bizarre and sort of reminds me of this. Did you see this Paradox Engine historic deck?
None other than Kai Buddha was on it.
What the heck was this deck's deal? It made 1 billion mana.
What was this? So the thing that it's doing is that it has Emry, Lurker of the Loch, right?
Right.
Which you can tap to cast artifacts from your graveyard, and then Paradox Engine, which when you cast a non-creature spell, it untaps all of your non-land permanents. So basically, it like you can get something out of your graveyard with Emry, and then casting that will untap Emry. So you're like making all this mana, and you're drawing all your cards because you're using it. You're getting back Chromatic Sphere.
Sure.
And so you like keep drawing cards and making mana with that, and then you draw your whole deck, and then you play a Jace. So it's kind of like the newer version of the Kethis combo.
Yeah, and you win by milling yourself out, thanks to Jace.
Yeah, you win by milling yourself. So you play that Jace that says you win if you got no cards in your library and you go to draw a card.
Great. I love it. What a weird deck.
It's so weird and it's so cool. And apparently I think it was just like Yol Larson and Kai who were on this.
Yes, only those two. Yol had convinced Kai to play this deck. Everybody else was like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole because that is hot garbage. And I'm gonna check Kai's results with this really quick.
I know Kai was at least 5-1, right? Like the worst that he did in the historic rounds was 5-2, which is not bad.
So the first day there was 3 rounds of historic. Or 4.
Yeah, and he 3-0'd.
He 3-0'd, yep. And then day 2 started with round 8, and
that was 4 rounds of historic.
He won 2 and 2 on day 2.
Okay, so he went 5-2 with the deck.
Yeah, not bad at all.
That's totally reasonable, right?
Yeah, it is. So there's something really bizarre and weird for you. Yeah. Kai Buddha's / Yol Larson's Sultai Paradox Engine nonsense if you want to mill yourself out.
If you want to look at that, over on we tweeted out some of them from the Magic Esports account.
Great.
On Saturday, you can go and see some of the stranger choices for historic that still did okay.
I love it. I want a strange deck, I really do.
One that didn't do well, I was so sad about this, but John Rolfe played like a blue-white and Azorius cycling deck.
Yes, he played Azorius cycling.
With Drakehaven to make drakes, and he did not do well with it. He did quite bad, but I wish that were not the case because wow, do I want a Drakehaven deck. Yeah,
he got, looks like 3 wins with the deck.
Okay, he went 3-3. That's he went 3-4. Never mind.
It is a cool deck. I will say that. It's definitely
3-3,
cool.
I feel like I can justify.
Yeah, for sure.
But 3-4, I'm like, oh, never mind.
Never mind. The most popular historic deck was either Rakdos or Jund Sacrifice, which are basically the sacrifice decks that we're used to from Standard back in the day, using the Cat Oven combo with Priest of Forgotten Gods, making you sacrifice Mayhem Devil, stealing your stuff and sacrificing it.
Yeah, and the big one for green, if you're going to go Jund instead of Rakdos, is Collected Company.
Yeah, play that Coco, get your tiny little creatures or your Mayhem Devil, whatever you want. Put them into play at instant speed. Then it goes back to your turn, and then you sacrifice them and whatever. And
obviously, still a cool deck, still out there doing its thing, but did not make the top 8.
No, which is just wild to me. Sultai and 4-color mid-range just dumped on this deck.
I mean, that makes sense. I think that it is exceptional. Like, that seems like really a bad matchup, especially since the only reason why people played 4-color midrange, not only, but like the biggest reason people played 4-color midrange was for Yasharn, the big pig says you may not sacrifice.
Yeah, Yasharn really shuts those decks down. And if you were playing the 4-color version of the mid-range deck, you know, you had access to it, and their game plan is basically like their deck just looks terrible if they can't sacrifice.
Yeah, you can see the 4-color mid-range versus Jund Sacrifice has a 66.7% win percentage.
Nice.
Which is just like, wow,
okay.
Ouch.
And Sultai / 4-color midrange was well represented in the top 8, being 6 out of the 8 decks. So I think it's fair to say the players who brought either of those did it right.
Yeah, that is very true. Also, Maria, I'm real sorry to tell you this fact.
Oh no.
But Azorius Auras had a 30% win rate.
Yeah, I know.
Overall.
I'm very sad about that. 12 heroes packed Azorius Auras this weekend. Playing my personal favorite deck with SRAM, Senior Edificer, Core Spirit Dancer, bunch of little auras to make your boggles big and smash. But nobody did very well with it. The deck list I actually played and practiced with up to the event was... why can't I think of his name off the top of my head? You know, Austin Bursavage. So Austin Bursavage, the winner of the grand finals, I used his list because he was running it and I thought that was interesting. I'm like, he doesn't seem like the kind of person to play this deck, so I'm going to play his list. And I really do like his list. He's got 2 Ornithopters in there, so you can have a really cool turn 1 where you play an Ornithopter for free, and then you play your little puppy dog that you can sacrifice to protect it. And then you just feel pretty safe for most of the game. And I think he did okay with it, but overall, a bad showing for Azorius Auras. Very sad about that because if you want to play this deck on the ladder, I think you're totally fine to do so.
Yeah.
I'm up in Diamond playing with it and winning, so like I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, to be fair, on the ladder, it is way different, and also this is like this is a pretty small slice. Also, like,
that's
to be
true.
fair, right?
That's true.
There's only 12 decks that you're getting this win percentage out of across 7 rounds. So that's like, you know, that could have been like only one person ever win up against the deck.
Yeah. And I do play this deck, like if you think of this as boggles, it's the same. You have the same mindset when you're playing it. It's like you use the same lines of thought. So like I'm pretty familiar with what I want to do when I'm playing this deck. And maybe some people who brought it were like, oh, this is like a pretty linear deck and I can just play it, which definitely is not the case. So I don't know. Maybe it's just that I'm familiar with it too. And just like I play it like it's just natural to me. It's like drinking mother's milk, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
I was shocked you were okay with that statement.
No, I'm not in retrospect. I was just kind of like, you know, it was at the tail end of like a lot of stuff. I was like, yeah. And then like I just got caught up in being like, yeah, but no. Wait a second.
No. The other deck that made the finals versus Azorius Control was Goblins, piloted by Autumn Burchett.
And this is kind of a deck that people, I think especially in the last couple of weeks, have been like, Goblins is dead.
Absolutely. People had their funeral for it.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, this is no longer goodbye forever. I think particularly because Jund Sacrifice and Rakdos Sacrifice is a terrible matchup.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
It's just it's pretty brutal. They have so many ways to just like ping off all your 1/1s. They're just like, I don't care.
I don't care. They're all dead.
I can literally incidentally kill most of your creatures. Whatever. But yeah, Autumn showing that for sure Goblins is not dead.
No, far from it. And playing the deck like an absolute master, I might add, which reminded me a lot of when she won Mythic Championship #1, piloting that mono blue list. And it was just like, if you've ever wanted to see a player sit down with a deck and just have absolute mastery and control of what they're doing, watch Autumn in that tournament, played the mirror match against Reed Duke and just mopped the floor with him. That's kind of what this reminded me of, playing the Goblins list in ways. Well, first of all, there were several innovations to the list that were brand new.
Oh yeah, that Herald's Horn, man.
Herald's Horn, allowing you to draw more goblins and get some card advantage going in your list because she anticipated more grindy matchups. Just genius. And then playing the list like in ways that people were surprised to see her do, and then coming out on top because of it.
And just watching them like run rampant over the Sultai mid-range decks.
Oh, so good.
Right.
So
just
good.
like completely stomped them all through that top 8. Like every match up until Autumn played Brad in like the upper finals.
Yeah.
Right, was just like against mid-range and was just like crush, and then like fall into the lower bracket once they lost to Brad the first time.
Yeah.
But then just like not even just being like, okay, Andrea Mengucci, like great player, but Sultai mid-range or 4-color mid-range, just like crush it. Just be like, whatever.
It was an absolute dream probably for Autumn to see this top 8 with so many Sultai / 4-color mid-range decks, just being like, oh, what a beautiful feast has been laid out before me.
Exactly. I mean, that being said, like that Azorius control matchup was brutal.
Oh no, I don't
like,
know
that was
what.
Just like,
and how many iterations that match is played out? Does Goblins win? I don't.
So few.
It's like, gotta be
so few. I think.
Most minimal percentage.
Yeah.
It's a terrible matchup.
I feel like even the fact that like Autumn got a game win in each of the 3 matches against Azorius control is just like a testament to their skill in piloting the deck. Because
wait, there is only 2 matches.
I mean, but in the upper finals also.
Oh, you mean the upper finals? So yes, absolutely.
Yeah, like in that one and in both of the championship matches, just like even just eking out 1 game win.
Oh yeah.
In that scenario where it's just like the worst matchup.
Like if you watch this footage, I was talking to Meghan about this, you will see Autumn just sitting there kind of rocking in their chair, like, talking to themselves, like, what could they have? Okay, if I do this, like, I know that feeling deep in my soul.
Yes.
That is me playing against control decks, being like, is there any chance I have to win here, and just being destroyed when they have it or whatever, you know?
And this was just like one of the most brutal moments of the whole thing, and I think this was in the very last game of the whole tournament, was like they had a window, just like this tiny window to draw a Muxus because Barclay was tapped out for once, right, to try and remove everything. I think he had just Wrath of Godded or something and is like tapped out, and it's like, oh, if Autumn draws a Muxus here, like she can win. And like literally draws for turn and cracks 2 Mind Stones, none of them. And then like, right, it goes back to Barclay's turn. He plays Teferi. I mean, look, I love 5-mana Teferi, but even I was mad.
I can't believe you made that sound after Teferi.
I know. And then like has Disdainful Stroke open after that. And then Autumn draws the Muxus. No! And it was just like the most brutal moment of all time. It was just like so 1 brutal. Card farther in, and if they had literally drawn it 1 turn earlier, like they likely win that game in that match.
And then that would have forced a match number 3. But
like that was such like a moment of just like, oh my God.
It would have been one of the top Magic moments probably of all time. At least up there in the top 10, I would say, if Autumn had drawn that Muxus. It wouldn't have won the series, but it would have at least forced a match 3.
Yeah, a match 3. But I mean, like, just stellar play from both players.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really excellent. And if you're a Goblins person, if that sounds like up your alley, it is not dead.
Nope.
Goblins is dead. Long live Goblins. You can get out there and still pilot it. And if you're looking for some pointers, like, just go watch Autumn pilot the deck.
Yeah, 100%.
It's wild.
And I've got to say, like, we've been gushing about this, but making the right deck choice on the weekend is not something that's easy. And it's something I pointed out when I was like, I think Autumn can win this, because Autumn has come with the correct deck a few times now. One that basically everybody else in the field was like, no way. Especially this time, people coming in were like, Goblins, are you crazy? Like, what's wrong with you? And then it was completely the right choice.
It's so good. And like they were ahead of the curve too with bringing Gruul Adventures a little while back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
At those season grand finals is what I'm thinking of.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
great stuff.
That's historic. There's tons of cool decks to try out. I personally recommend Azorius Auras. That's my Maria's hat tip recommendation.
And you know what? I've been having a good time playing it too. It is a fun
it's super
historic
fun.
deck.
It's super fun.
I love drawing those cards.
You gotta love drawing cards, and that's what the deck gives you. You can draw
I
a bunch of
really
cards.
do love drawing cards.
I was actually talking to Day 9 before the show, and I'm not really throwing him under the bus because you can watch his stream and see this, but he was like, Maria, how are you winning with Azorius Auras? I don't understand. I put on my creature and they just always kill it.
And you're like, I don't know how to tell you that you're doing this wrong.
I was like, there's something you're doing incorrectly here. Let's walk you through it.
Let's talk about this.
Shall we talk about standard?
Yes, let us.
Okay, let us talk about standard. So I've been loving historic so much that I actually haven't been playing a lot of standard recently, but there are some sweet decks here too.
Yeah, and do you know what? I was just feeling it because I had been playing historic. I'd been playing this Auras deck, having a very good time. But I was like, I feel like it's time for a mix up. And like none of the other stuff in historic at the time was sort of like something that I felt really pulled to play.
Sure.
And I was like, let's go check out, right? Like what's going on in standard. So I tried out mono green food. Tons of fun.
Super fun.
Really great time.
You seem like somebody who would love to play with the card Wicked Wolf.
Yes, like Wicked Wolf, great time, Feasting Troll King, what a wild ride.
I'm so mad about Feasting Troll King. That thing can come back from the graveyard, whatever.
Oh yeah, like not even, like no problem. It just comes, you sacrifice some food, whatever. You sacrifice some food, also get 3 activations off Trail of Crumbs.
Gross.
And like bring back your 7/6 and draw 3 permanents. You're like, great. Party Town, USA.
Mono Green Food had 32 players representing it, which was 17% of the field, the second most played deck in the tournament. I don't believe it had a very good win rate, if I'm remembering
That's
correctly.
true. I'm trying to remember. I don't. Let's take a look. I know like Gabe Nassif was on it.
Yeah, Gabe Nassif was playing at 52.2%.
And obviously
the
did quite well. So like, not
That's
great.
all right. That's all right.
It's actually pretty up there.
Compared to the
only
other
ones
stuff.
above it are Esper, Doom Foretold, and Gruul Aggro.
Oh, okay. All right. So it did fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So mono green food is something that you like want to snack on.
Yeah. If you're looking for a tasty snack,
Not too bad.
you can play some mono green food. Yeah, but so I like tried that and I was like, oh, this is a good time. But like what else is out there? And so I just took a look at, a little while back, they started posting if you get 6 wins or more in a row and you're at Diamond or Mythic, then they post your deck list on magic.gg. And I was like, well, let's just go through some of those and like see what's happening.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And like the answer is like there was some really weird, fun stuff.
Great.
Happening
I love weird decks.
That I was very surprised about. So the first one that I tried, which was not good, at least for me, was like a mono black deck.
Oh, great. I love it. Was
I know,
this the
exactly,
Auras
right?
one?
No, this is just like a mono black devotion deck.
Cool.
That's also doing some weird stuff with the graveyard because you're playing 4 Archfiend's Vessel, which is the 1/1 with lifelink. And if it enters from the battlefield, you exile it.
Yeah.
And then you make a 5/5 demon.
Great.
So you have that. And then you have like Null Priest of Oblivion, which you can kick to get something back from the graveyard to the battlefield.
Great.
You have... let's see. I'm trying to remember what else. You
well,
have
you're definitely playing Gary, right?
Yes, obviously you're playing Grey Merchant. You're playing Call of the Death Dweller, which can also get that Archfiend's Vessel back onto the battlefield, and make you, as soon as turn 3, make you a 5/5. And then you're just playing stuff like you have Timoret to get stuff out of the grave, like to exile stuff. You're playing Massacre Worm. You're playing some Rankles, some Murderous Riders. So it's like you're playing, Maria, you would love this. You're playing Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose.
Yes, Meg, I played this deck. I played this when I was lower on the ladder. I loved every single solitary second of it. What I didn't love is that it fails to be competitive higher up. But if you're like, I don't care about that, this deck is super fun.
This deck is very fun. Like you mentioned, though, I was high enough up on the ladder when I was playing this that I was like, this is quite bad.
Yeah.
If people are playing real decks, it will be quite bad. But it is a party and a half. It was a really good time.
Yeah, if you're just matching, like playing versus your friends, or you like are lower on the ladder or whatever, have a great time with this deck while you can, because it's super fun. I love Veto. Veto is like one of my all times for sure.
Such a good time. And then the other very weird deck that I played was a deck built around Draw 2.
Okay.
And a Stormwing Entity.
Oh, cool.
And hold on, let me just try. Okay, yeah. So you're playing a bunch of spells, right? You have like Ops, you have Deliberates, you have Shock, you have Spike Field Hazard. And so you have all these cheap spells, and you're trying to play a Stormwing Entity on turn 3.
Sure.
Right, which is, it's 3 blue for a 3/3 flying prowess, and it costs 2 and a blue less to cast if you cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. Plus, when it ETBs, you scry 2. So literally what you're trying to do is on turn 3, you want to opt and then play Stormwing Entity.
I've also tried this deck out. It's so fun.
Yeah. And then you also have 3 Crash Through, which I forgot about. So 3 Crash Through is like 1 red mana. So you have all these ways to just like literally the only thing you're trying to do is cheat a Stormwing Entity out on turn 3 and then go to town. But you're also playing 4 Sprite Dragon.
Yes.
Which people literally kill immediately. I've never once in my life attacked with a Sprite Dragon in this deck.
You can't let it live.
Actually never happened, and I've cast many of them. And they're like, it's like immediately, like you play it and they're like, that's dead.
That's dead.
That's dying. Rip. And you're like, okay, rip this guy. You have 4 Magmatic Channeler, which is the one that becomes a 4/4 if you have 4 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard. Plus, if you're drawing a bunch of lands later on, it helps you with that because you can discard a card to exile the top 2 cards of your library, and then you can pick one of them to play that turn. And so it has the Royal Scions. This deck is just like, again, it's not wildly competitive. It is more competitive than the mono black one. But it's just a really good time.
Yeah, if you want to check out these decks or try them out for yourself, we're going to put links to them in the show notes because both of these decks are just a party and a half.
Just let me know if you ever get to actually attack with a Sprite Dragon.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, does it happen?
Has it ever in the history of Magic the Gathering?
Yeah. Although it is nice because you play that on 2 and they're like, I'm going to kill that right now before it gets big. And you're like, okay. But then next turn you play a Stormwing Entity and they're like, oh.
They're like, oh, well.
You're like, I shouldn't have done that yet. There is also a really cool new version of the of a mutate deck.
Ooh,
that's
excellent.
Out here.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a Sultai mutate deck that I haven't tried out yet, but it does look really spicy, and I'm definitely going to try it.
Ooh, what is its what's its deal?
What's its deal?
Just normal mutate shenanigans?
It is normal mutate shenanigans. It has 4 of the Polywog symbiote, which makes mutate cost 1 less, and it lets you draw a card and then discard when you mutate. Great. Migratory Greathorn to ramp, obviously. Dreamtail Heron to draw cards. Pouncing Shore Shark, Trumpeting Gnar. It has some other stuff like Chittering Harvester, which is whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature.
Okay.
Obviously, it has the Auspicious Starix.
Yep.
And then rather than mutate decks used to have like the big dragon guy sometimes.
Yeah.
Whose name I'm forgetting.
Oh, I can't think of it. It sounds like Ikoria.
Yeah.
Aluna, right?
Oh yeah, Aluna, yes. This one instead plays Brokos, Apex of Forever.
Oh, Brokos, get broke.
Yeah. 2 get broccolied. 2 black, green, blue trample. You may cast it from your graveyard using its mutate ability.
Hey, this deck sounds right up my alley. I'll give it a try. I don't care if I lose. It sounds fun.
It does sound fun, and it has like of all things, it randomly has Scute Swarm.
Yeah, get Scute Swarm. I mean, you're making so much mana.
Exactly. And also, like, my question is, I don't know what the interaction is between its landfall ability and if it's mutated on top of, because it still has landfall, right?
Yeah.
But if you put a Great Horn on top of it, when it makes a token that's a copy of Scute Swarm, is it a migratory Great Horn?
Does it say it makes a copy? What does Scute Swarm say? Make a copy of Scute Swarm?
Oh, it does.
So it's probably just a Scute Swarm.
It's probably just a Scute Swarm. Okay. That would have been way spicy.
That would have been really cool.
But anyways, I think that this is like next on my list as I'm kind of making my way through what are the really spicy decks out there in Standard that are in theory like winning, right? Because these are from the winning decks. I don't know how someone was winning in Diamond with that mono black pile.
And six times in a row.
Yeah, exactly. Like 6 times in a row. Don't know what they did. But good for them.
As far as the metagame from the championships, a lot of the decks are ones you would expect. The most popular one was Gruul Adventures, which has, as you know, been a top deck for a long time, followed by Mono Green Food, followed by Dimir Rogues, which has undergone several different mutations over its life as a deck, which is my favorite out of this bunch. To play. So that's my favorite competitive list right now. Then Teamer Adventures, which I feel like is a bit of a misnomer. I mean, I would call it like...
It's like Teamer Obosh.
Teamer Obosh, yeah.
Teamer Genesis Ultimatum.
You're ramping and comboing and making sure you can play Genesis Ultimatum. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. Oh, Maria, I can't believe we talked about Historic.
Yeah.
And we did not talk about 9 Lives.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about it for sure. Okay.
That's our biggest mistake of all time.
All right, let's correct that right now.
Yes, Grzegorz Kowalski brought to Historic a 9 Lives deck, and he didn't make it past day 1, but he did go 2-1 in Historic, so it wasn't because of his Historic record. He didn't like 0-3.
No,
he was playing a 9 Lives deck that has a combo with you play 9 lives, you play Solemnity, which doesn't let counters be put on anything. And so that means counters can't be put on 9 lives. So 9 lives works that if something would deal damage to you, you prevent that damage and you put a counter on 9 lives. If it has 9 counters on it, you exile it. And when it's exiled, you lose the game.
Yeah.
But Solemnity says you can't put counters on anything.
So 9 lives is just like, you can't deal me damage?
It just always prevents damage and it never puts counters on it. And then you play like, you have Gideon's Intervention, which lets you just name a card. So you can, whatever you're playing against, if you're worried that they might have, I don't know, like a Maelstrom Pulse, you can just like play Gideon's Intervention, naming Maelstrom Pulse, and they're just done forever.
Naming Assassin's Trophy in some instances, like, well, you can't destroy my enchantments. You can just watch Gregor Kowalski break Reed Duke's heart on stream. You literally see the moment when Reed Duke, the heart just cracks right down the middle. Yeah, it's just like so sad, but also this deck is so funny that you can't be too mad.
Exactly, because it's literally in 2 games, and like Gregor just eventually assembles those 3 cards, and Reed just like sits there, and you see him being like, "Is there literally anything I can do?" And the answer is no.
No, there is not. This is what we call a prison deck because you're putting the other opponent in prison, and then it wins by having a single copy of Dawn of Hope, which makes soldiers, or you play your Castle Ardenvale and just make little 1/1s.
Just make some 1/1s.
And then your opponent concedes because they're dead inside.
Exactly. Mostly it wins by making your opponent dead inside.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. I want to say that's in maybe round 2. If you want to go back and watch that happen, it is massively entertaining.
Speaking of massively entertaining, I've got to call out one of my favorite moments from this tournament, which happened in the top 8. And that was Luca Magni, who from Italy made the top 8. And he has a beautiful cat in his apartment or his house, wherever he's playing. And he won one of the games and he was so excited. I think he might have won his match. I can't remember. He turned around to pet his pet cat in like celebration, like, "I did it, kitty, I did it. You were sitting next to me on the bed and I did it." And he pets the cat, and the look on this cat's face is one of contempt murder that I have never seen in all my years of cat owning.
The cat just looks like it has been so deeply insulted.
Yes.
Like it has been insulted to its very core.
You know, cats are good at this look, but I have never seen a cat give this level of how dare you in my life. Yes,
this cat is going to murder Luca Magni in his sleep for the audacity of simply petting him.
Yes, and the best part is petting him in celebration. Like Luca was so excited, like, we did it, kitty, we did it. And the cat is like, I don't care about your happiness or your celebration, human. Mm-hmm. I will end you. And yeah, we're gonna tweet out this photo because it's just too good.
It's so funny.
It just needs to become a meme. It just needs to. It's just like you'll understand once you see this photo because it is just the apex. It's the perfect example of this emotion, just distilled down to its crystalline form.
It is perfection. Like it's maybe my favorite moment of the whole tournament.
Yeah, me too. I saw it and I was like,
you're yes, just like, like, this is it.
This is it right here. Right here.
This is what I'm here for.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Do you have any other big takeaways from the tourney?
You know, no, it was a really good time, honestly. Like it was one of like the more fun, lighthearted weekends in a while.
Yeah, and I think I heard a lot of players saying this too, like getting ready for this. Like Luis Scott Vargas tweeted out, I feel like I'm preparing for a normal pro tour. You know, this one feels the most like a pro tour since the world went topsy-turvy that I can remember. I think probably due to its split format nature and the fact that both of these formats were pretty relatively open and healthy, at least versus what we've seen recently. I mean, look, Euro is still hanging around in a historic. How much longer is that going to happen for? I don't think that much longer.
Hopefully
but
not.
Who knows? So yeah, players felt, I think, overall like that it was more of a return to the tournaments of days past, which was pretty cool. From a technology standpoint, putting up together a broadcast like this has gotten easier and easier over the past few, having a few under our belts now. Mm-hmm. You know, so I thought it was a great time.
It was I agree. Like it just felt fun. Exactly. It was a good time.
Can't wait till we can see a split format draft and then standard pro tour again, because that for me will be like, yes, this is it. We have arrived.
Yeah, it's so true. Draft. I miss it.
Draft. You know, some days I'll just think about, I just mobile. It's going to be on mobile. And I'll just be sitting there and I'll be like, when do I think that's going to happen?
Mobile.
Mobile. Playing this on mobile.
Yeah.
My
someday,
brain will
man.
just go off into the distance. Yeah.
Someday.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah.
If you look behind me very carefully, you'll see some of your Christmas presents, but don't look too hard.
What?
They're in boxes, so you can't tell what's in them.
Also, you all can't see this, but Maria has a cloud filter on this Zoom, on this Google Meet call. I mean, and so I just see you.
You just can't see anything. That's a good point. That's a fair point. What I was gonna say is like, you know, if you're like, oh, I've got to still get presents for somebody for the holidays, we have a fantastic sponsor, not only Karkina but also Ultra Pro, and they have got everything for that hard to buy for Magic player in your life.
Yes, because they take all of the amazing art that is in like the new secret layers. Like it's so incredible, and you have it on a playmat. You can just like, why look at it just on a little card when you could have it laid out before you in all of its glory?
Ultra Pro just tweeted the other day they have got the Good Boy collection, which is a bunch of pupper playmats, which is really, really, really cool. Like you can have the majestic pupper with the cape. I forget the name of that dog, but it's really great. You can have the little pup that you sacrifice in Azorius Auras on a playmat. They've also got the Doge meme dog on a playmat. Wow, good game. Please draw cards. So pro. You know, like what I'm saying is we are like running the gamut here of playmats and art. Anything from silly to really, really gorgeous and beautiful. They have the new squirrel secret lair art on a playmat, which is just great. And if you're like, my friend already has too many playmats, what about relic tokens? They've got really cool relic tokens which you can crack open and use as life counters or whatever you want, tokens in a game. And they've got like foil ones or normal ones. Anyway, they've got like just everything.
They do, in fact, have actually everything.
Well, everybody, that's this episode of Good Luck High Five. Thank you so much once again for spending your week with us. We know that you have limited hours in your life, and you know you chose to put one of them in our hands, and we're so thankful for that. Which sounds pretty dark.
You put your life in our hands for an hour.
You know, but that is technically what you did, and we like that's really cool.
In the same way that you put your life in a bus driver's hands, in the same way you put your life in an airline pilot's hands, in the same way you put your life in a doctor's hands, you put your life in our hands. And we really appreciate that trust.
We so do. And we would love to hear more little sounds of people becoming patrons in our ears as we record on Mondays. So go over to patreon.com/GLHF Become a patron at any dollar amount. You're a member of the family. $5 gets you into our super cool Discord and gets you a sticker. Lots of other cool rewards. And that 10% discount code is going up today for patrons. So if you want to buy our cool new cat speaker mouth t-shirts or fanny packs, whatever gear, becoming a patron gets you 10% off. And if you want just normal costs, that's fine too. The link is in the show notes. I just love this design from a comic book artist friend I know. It's just glorious.
It's really great.
And what a great way to show off that you listen through your cat's mouth. You know, it's a great audio
Everyone
feature.
should know.
Yeah.
You know, and thank you as well to our wonderful sponsors, Card Kingdom and Ultra Pro. Just really great members of the community that we're so happy to be affiliated with.
Oh, yes, 100%. Fabulous companies. We thank them for their support. Thanks for listening, everybody. I am.
Oh wait, what were you gonna say?
I don't know. I'm just wearing a dinosaur dress. You know.
Yeah, it's really great.
Dinos.
Mine has stars and tigers.
Oh yeah, Megan's wearing a really cool pattern today.
Oh,
I love that one. I love that one.
There's that guy.
Oh, rainbow tiger. It's a tiger puking rainbows. It's just excellent.
It is a tiger puking rainbows. All right, until next week, everybody. You know, stay safe and only put your life in the hands of people you trust.